Did you ever notice how some tracks feel powerful and full, while other comes out like really thin and almost like they are missing something? Picture this, you are walking on a track, adding layers, tweaking the sound, but somehow it still sounds thin, like there's no power behind it. Thin mixes are incredibly common, believe it or not, but with a few key adjustments, we can completely turn it around. Today I will walk you through some techniques to avoid thin mixes, so you can create tracks that sound powerful and full, and even if you're just starting out and you don't know anything about mixing. Hey guys, I am DJ Legion from Audio Waves Academy, and in today's video we are diving into why your mixes might sound thin and what you can do to fix it. We will go through common issues, proven techniques, and practical solutions to ensure that your music has the depth and impact it deserves. But let me ask you something. What exactly is a thin mix? There might be a lot of different reasons and issues. For example, let's go with the first and most common issue, which is going to be the lacking low end. A mix might sound weak or hollow if you are missing these low frequencies. This issue is especially noticeable when the music is being played on large speakers, where the absence of a robust low end becomes more apparent. For example, if the kick drum and the bass are not prominent enough, the mix may feel really empty and lack depth. Let me show you an example. Here on this track I got the drums, and right now my volume here is at -5.4, and let's say for example that I got it here. But if I go and put it again on -5.4, you can hear right away that when I also mute the track, it somehow becomes really amateurish sound, because you don't have this low end that you have with the 808. So you have to be really careful when you are going to balance your mix. So that means when you're going to use a kick and 808, just try to find this sweet spot. Now the second reason is going to be a sparse mix. A mix can also feel really thin if it lacks a full range of elements or some instruments. If there are also only a few components there, like for example a single vocal and an acoustic guitar, the mix might seem less engaging and dynamic, and even if each part is clear and well balanced. This can lead to a feeling of emptiness in the mix. So let me show you an example here on our track. We have the lead vocals and the doubles. I'm going to mute the doubles, and you're going to hear right away that something is missing there.
I've been running, running. I've been running, running. I've been running, running. I've been running.
Somehow the doubles here on the vocals fill this gap that you had when you are going to use only one vocal take. Now let's go and check out also another reason that is also pretty common, and which is where I find it a lot of times when I am mixing some tracks, when I get these hi-hats that they're too loud, seriously. Let's say for example that you have these hi-hats here, and right now I am at -21, and if I go and boost it -15, somewhere there.
I've been running. I've been running.
Yes, it is more in front, but you don't want this in this case, in this track, because you want the track, it is an R&B track, you don't want the listener to focus so much on these hi-hats. You want to bring it down and focus more on the vocals.
I've been running.
this case, the hi-hats are more like a complement on the track. Sometimes the hi-hats or some cymbals might be too prominent in the mix, so it is overshadowing the low frequencies. If the hi-hats are too loud, they can make the mix sound thin by drawing attention, as I already said, away from the low end. By the way, guys, if you are a beginner and you want to improve your mixing skills, you will see a link in the description below where I explain everything about the mixing, the one-on-one of the mixing essential skills. Now let's go and talk about another common issue that I see a lot of people do and make their sound and make their tracks sound really thin. And this is when you are going to boost wrong frequencies. Boosting frequencies in the wrong range, it can make the mix sound brighter, but sometimes it can make the problem worse. For instance, increasing high frequencies to add brightness might result in a mix that still feels thin, and instead you should go and focus on enhancing the lows and mid frequencies that contribute to the fullness of the mix. I have seen a lot of people to go there and just boost the highs because they want it to cut through the mix. I don't know why.
I've been running, running, running. I've been running, running, running. Running. I've been running, running, running.
But to say the truth, when I hear something like this, and I hear a lot of times on different mixes, I just want to go there and use a cue to tame down these frequencies because I feel like they're like ripping my ears. The next common issue that can make your track sound really thin is when you're going to cut the wrong frequencies this time. Cutting these frequencies incorrectly can also lead to a thin sound. So, for example, if you're removing too much of a mid-range, it can make the mix feel like really thin there. So it is important to be selective about which frequencies you cut and ensure that you're not removing elements that contribute to the overall warmth and richness of the track. For example, here,
I've been running, running, running. I've been running, running, running. Running. I've been running, running, running. I've been running, running, running.
I can hear right away that when I enable the EQ there, somehow I lose the presence from the vocal. So you have to be really careful where you go and attenuate these frequencies. Bear with me, guys, we are almost to the end. The next thing that I want to talk about is when you're going to use reverb. Using too much reverb can also make your mix sound really thin. So while you're going to use the reverb, you have to be really careful because you just want to add depth and space, and you don't want to overdo it to wash out this low end and make the mix feel less solid. Using too much reverb can also make a mix sound really thin. The reverb is there to add depth and space, so if you overdo it, you might ruin your whole mix. You have to keep in mind that when you use the reverb, you just want to complement the mix without overwhelming it. Let me give you an example here. Right now I got this vocal, and I have seen a lot of people, sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's wrong, that they go directly on the channel and they add a reverb. For example, right now it sounds like this.
I've been running, running, running.
Let's listen also in the track.
I've been running, running, running. I've been running, running, running.
You might want this effect, but right now, if I go and leave it like it is, you will hear right away that the vocal somehow disappears because it is being washed out from the reverb. And you can see here that the mix might be okay 78%, but I have the ducking, which is a feature from the FabFilter Pro R2. But if I go and take out the ducking,
I've been running, running, running. I've been running, running, running.
you're going to hear right away that without the ducking, it is going to be really washed out. So be careful. If you want to use it like this, just go and take down the mix a little bit, or just use the ducking here. But if I were you, I would just go and take it out, and I would just go and send it to a bus, which in this case is the EMT from the UAD here. And right now it sounds like this.
I've been running, running, running. I've been running, running, running.
Much cleaner, right? By the way, guys, if you like what you are learning so far, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more mixing tips videos and help me achieve my goal to hit these 5k subs until the end of the year, which I think is not going to happen, but okay, let's try it. Now, another reason that your song might feel thin is if you don't have enough elements. What I mean with that, if your mix feels too empty, consider adding more musical elements or layers. This could involve like additional instruments, background vocals, or harmonies to fill out the space and to make the mix sound fuller. For example, here right now, I got this section again. I will just go and play it, and I will take out the risk. The risk sounds like this. And if you look carefully here on my EQ, you're going to see that I have a low cut here, but it still fill this gap right here. So really important here is when I go and use the kick and the 808, and this here also, really important is to go on my Reese, and because I don't want to take out these frequencies from the 808 and the kick, I'm going to sidechain it with this plugin here, which is the track spacer, right away when the kick hits, when the 808 hits, sorry. And why I did that? Because if I go and leave it out, like this for example, in my opinion it sounds really empty in these frequencies.
I've been running, running, running. I've been running, running, running.
You can hear right away that when I enable the track, it sounds much fuller. Well, these are the most common issues that I found that can make a mix like really thin. And if you remember earlier, we talked about the reverb problem, right? There is one video, this one here, that can really help you have these dreamy vocals without messing your sound, and the solution is in this video.